Many young Africans dream of moving abroad for a better life, career growth, and new opportunities. But when they finally make this move, reality hits them. Moving abroad isn't always as glamorous as it sounds. There's lots of struggles, there's lots of truths that are left untold, there's lots of challenges behind the scene. And these days, social media gives us more of the highlights than the actual things that are happening behind the scenes. You see beautiful photos, you see beautiful videos, and you'll be like, wow. Well, behind those beautiful photos and videos, there's lots of sacrifices, lots of truths that are left untold. In this video, I'm breaking out some realities about moving and living abroad as a young African. I am Christian IJ. Welcome to my channel. So the first thing I'll be talking about is the financial burden and struggles. Cost of living can be very, very high than you expect. Now, this actually depends on the country you're moving to. So you just have to prepare your mind towards these kind of things. You make adequate research on the country you're moving to, on the cost of living, the transportation, the accommodation, the feeding also. Now, there's also unexpected expenses and emergencies. At some point, you might get sick, you might fall ill, it could be from burnout, it could be from stress, and then you need to pay some medical bills. So it's also an emergency. You have to prepare for these emergencies. There's also the pressure to send money back home, even when you are still struggling. You are still trying to find your feet in the new country. And then let's not forget that most Africans that make the move abroad actually take loans to make this to make this journey. So when they get there, they have this plan that within 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or 6 months, or within 1 year, they pay back these loans. But when they move abroad, when they get there, reality hits them that it's not really that easy, because you're not going to be picking money from the ground. You're not going to be plugging money from the trees. Now, you still have to face these financial challenges of cost of living, unexpected expenses, and then you are still managing your debt because you still have to pay back. The next point I'll be looking at is the cultural differences, shock and isolation. Now, first of all, if you're moving to a non-English speaking country, the first major challenge you're going to face is the language barrier. So it's very, very important that you actually start learning the language. If you're moving to, let's say, a country that speaks Spanish, you should start learning how to speak Spanish. You should start learning at least the basics, the greetings, how to say hello. You're moving to an Arabic country, maybe in the Middle East, one of the Gulf countries, you just start learning how to speak Arabic. Now, most of the time as adults or as young adults, it could be very difficult. But you can just start with the basics. You understand? You can just start with the greetings, and it will help you to do things that you might never have done if you couldn't speak that language. Then you also have to understand that there are different social norms, different social values and expectations. So anywhere you're moving to, you just have to prepare your mind that this is a different culture. This is not Nigeria. This is not Ghana. This is not your country. It could be Uganda, Kenya, Gabon, Tanzania, any African country you are from. Just know that this is not your country. The way things are done back home, the way people dress, the way people eat, the way people talk is very, very totally different. So you're going to face cultural differences. You're going to face lots of cultural shock. You will struggle with making new friends, especially if you are not the type that usually makes friends normally. You will struggle a lot with making new friends, and then you also feel isolated. There are some places you go to, and the way people look at you, you just know that no, you're an immigrant. You just know that this is not your home. This is like, you're not from here. So you will have that feeling of being an outsider. But you shouldn't let it get to you. Now, this leads us to the next point, which is the emotional and mental struggles. Many people don't talk about this. Like, many people living abroad, they claim to be strong, they claim to be tough. But deep inside of them, they know that they are battling with anxiety, they are battling with depression, they are battling with burnout. It happens that you are still planning to make that move abroad. Prepare your mind towards these kind of things. If you are already abroad, start looking for ways to to counter these things. So you're going to face homesickness. You will be lonely. You will face loneliness, especially if you don't know anybody in the country you're moving to. If you're moving to a country where you don't have any friend, you don't have any family, even if you have family, you will still feel lonely because everyone is working. They have their own problems to face too. So you will face homesickness, the food. Let me not talk about that one. You will miss the food. It's very likely that you're going to see African stores in the country you're moving to, but that fresh African food, you understand, that fresh African food, you're going to miss it a lot. So you are going to face anxiety, you're going to face depression, like I said before, this pressure to get what you want. Like, know why you are here, you know why you moved abroad, you just want to achieve it immediately, but it's not always like that. So you're going to face the pressure to succeed. You just have to learn how to control it and be contented with what you have. Then also for the emotional and mental struggles, there's always a lack of support system. Like, how do I mean support system? For me personally, if I was in my country, sometimes during the weekends, if I wasn't feeling too well, I could just go to my cousin's place, I could just go to my friend's place and spend maybe one day, one night, or spend the weekend, and I'm okay. The next day I go back to where I stay. But when you move abroad, it's not like that. You don't have anybody to run to. You don't have anybody to go and explain your problems and all that. You might have actually, but generally speaking, it's not that way, because everyone has his own challenge. Everyone living abroad has one challenge on the other. So you just have to prepare your mind that there's lots of emotional stress, there's lots of mental struggles. Sometimes you are working from morning till night, you are taking morning shift, you are taking night shift, you are working afternoon. You won't even have time to rest. You won't even have time to just sit down and think. So you're going to face this kind of challenges. Another reality you're going to face is employment challenges. Getting a job abroad is not as easy as it sounds. Many people may think that there are job opportunities, work plenty. When you get there, you find out that it's a struggle getting jobs. You might stay months without even getting any job, even the least cleaning job. It's possible. It's very, very likely. So you are also going to face some visa restrictions depending on the visa you move with. For example, there are some countries that when you go with a student visa, they are going to cut down the amount of hours you know. So this kind of restrictions pose lots of challenges to employment, because some employers will want someone who will give them full time, someone who will give them a good amount of time at work, not just few hours. So that's one challenge that you are likely going to face, or Africans likely going to face. And then another challenge here is underemployment. That's working below your qualifications, taking jobs that you might not have taken if you were still in your country. You understand? You might have all the qualifications that you think you have, but when you move to these countries, they don't recognize your qualifications. So you have to just start from somewhere, because at the end of the day, you will pay your bills. You need money. So it's likely that you're going to start with jobs that you might not be proud to do. Let me put it that way. And then you're also going to face workplace discrimination. This leads me to my next point, which is my last point: opportunities and exploitation. There are many opportunities abroad. There's always room for growth abroad, but exploitation is still real in terms of the low wages, the tough conditions, you working overtime to get more money and all that. But the key is just to find the right balance and always stay positive, stay connected with the right people, stay informed. That's the way to actually get over all these challenges. So my advice is that to succeed abroad, you need resilience. Generally speaking, as Africans, we are resilient people. They say tough times don't last, but tough people do. As Africans, we are always resilient. And then you also have to be adaptable. you have to be ready to adjust to new environments, to keep living and keep moving. And then another way is networking. Now, you also have to be careful. You have to, when it comes to networking, yeah, you have to build relationships with people. You have to meet new people for support, for opportunities and all that. You still have to be careful so you don't meet the wrong people and get into trouble. And then you have to be open to change, because things will not always go as planned. You might have your plan A. You don't have to just stick to plan A. You should have plan B. If plan A doesn't work out, plan B could work out. You could even still have plan C. If plan A or plan B doesn't work out, plan C is likely to work out. And you have to stay connected. Like I said, you have to stay connected. You have to keep in touch with your family and your friends, so you don't really miss home that much. And then lastly, this is in fact is the most important. As a Christian that I am, you just have to put God first in all you do. So generally speaking, moving abroad is a journey filled with ups and downs. You just have to stay strong, stay prepared, and keep pushing forward. In terms of finance, you have to, if possible, check how much you are likely going to spend for 6 months, for your first 6 months. You have to prepare yourself. Take an amount that can last you for 6 months if you don't have anything doing in the new country. Also prepare yourself in terms of skills. You have to get skills that are related to where you are moving to. You don't just Japan, you don't just travel, you won't just migrate because you feel like everyone's migrating, because everyone is traveling. Just travel without any skill or without any certifications or without your degree or anything. You just have to have something. If you don't have your certificate, you should have a degree. If you don't have your degree, then you should have some good amount of money to take some courses when you get to where you're going to. And then also preparation in terms of language. If you're not an English-speaking person, you should learn English. If you're moving to a non-English-speaking country, you should also learn the language of where you are moving to. So that's it. I hope you got some value from this video. Do hit the like button, share, comment, and also subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video.